Hello, this is Lex from Dead Gentry Collectibles, and today I'm going to walk you through an estate sale where I hope to point out that even when it seems like there's nothing at a garage sale or yard sale or an estate sale or a thrift store, you can still find valuable things like those lamps. Those lamps were obviously valuable, right? At the right price, they're very worth picking up and reselling. But here's something that some people wouldn't know to look for. So the furniture seems obvious, right? The glasswork seems obvious. Look at the faux plant. That bird of paradise with sugarcane flowers, the rock work at the bottom. This is a very large faux floral fake flower arrangement. This piece, new today, you'd probably be looking at over $400. Vintage, $300 plus, all day long on that beautiful plant. That's something you could still pick up. Maybe you're not going to find any porcelain that day, or colored glass, or crazy vintage toys that are worth hundreds, but you could have picked up the fake floral that other people aren't thinking about. So keep that in mind. That's a beautiful textile. That is a 1960s to 1970s chinoiserie, and if I had looked closer, it could be more valuable than that. I think it was just glancing at it, but I'd need to look at it closer and inspect it more. This whole table covered in knickknacks, nothing of any very real value here. For the prices they were asking, you can kind of see some of these stickers. If you're a reseller, you're not really going to make a profit. And if you're a collector, depending on, none of these pieces were fine enough, I felt, for a collector to want to pay almost retail for them, for that level of collectible. So again, at an estate sale like this, you're going to not go to those normal things and pick up those normal things that you would regularly purchase. But look what I found, right? So there was an addition to this little house where they'd built on this side room. And I was like, I wonder what I could find in here, right? So none of the art on the wall was vintage. That chair, the collapsible beach chair, when those are older and they're in good condition, they can be valuable. That one actually wasn't. So again, moving on. And here I found the garage. And again, it's like, oh, there's some books. A lot of people check books. Nothing really good there. Nothing really worth the time. These tackle boxes were priced up. And they when I opened the first few, they were like $30 and $40. And it was mostly weights and hooks and things of that nature. Very few lures in there. But when I walked to the other side of the table, so you see I kind of give up here. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know very much about fly fishing. But I do know that nothing in there seemed really valuable. So here I'm going to walk around. I did notice, too, that there had been rods and reels, and someone had already purchased them all. So maybe you get there late, and those things you were thinking you were going to purchase aren't there. These are the other things you can look for, right? There's other stuff here. Just know what to find, and you can always find something. Sometimes heat glasses for workshops can be valuable. I checked those. They weren't vintage. So it's just, hitting, I'm just missing every mark here, everything I'm checking. A good little wrench set there, but again, $10, that's great to bring home and use, not necessarily for the weight of shipping. But look at this, $20 for that clamp. That is $180 clamp. Is it heavy? Yes. Do you have Facebook Marketplace? Do you know how to take it off that bench? Because if you do, buy that clamp, take that home, resell it. Even at half of its new value, you're going to make a profit. Or take it home and keep it for yourself, and you just saved yourself $160. So right there's a great little thing that some people wouldn't think to look for. And here, these were very dirty, which is why I assume they weren't priced out with the tackle boxes. But there were lures in these boxes, and vintage fishing lures and fishing equipment can be very valuable, especially if you get more than just a few pieces and you lot them together. So I was able to dig through these, see, whole boxes like that, because I think they were kind of dirty and much older looking. Didn't really get priced, and no one really cared about them. And I was thrilled, because I'm like, the people who buy these things do not mind, and I can wipe down the packaging. That's not a problem. Look for things like that. Look for fishing lures. Some fishing lures can be very valuable. And I will try at some point when I'm going through these later to make them available on the Etsy shop, to do a little video again to show you just fishing lures, like what they can be sold for. When I walked over here, again, I'm looking at all the nooks and crannies people wouldn't usually check. Again, nothing over here. Nice, like there's a brand new Under Armour Hunter's visor. I don't need it. Not really going to deal with it. Not something that would go in our shop, but I did grab a different little golf cap for William just because it was brand new. It still had the paper inside. I think they were asking $1. And I was just like, for $1, I'm going to put that in William's car in case he forgets his one day. And, I'm not going to leave that behind. So, but again, so already we found a few things, even though the things you would think to look for, like that nativity, were overpriced and not very valuable and not worth it. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. It does help us out, and we really do appreciate it.